Hi everyone! Welcome to Maxic Kingdom! This is your host, Max LaZebnik. Today, I'm going to tell you my top 10 rides to do at Disneyland. All aboard! At number 10, we have the Disneyland Railroad. Upon entering the park, we have this opening day attraction, which opened in 1955. It may be the most underrated attraction at the park and was inspired by Walt Disney's love for trains. Not only does it take you around the park, but it is a themed ride in its own right. It has 4 stations: Main Street at the park's entrance, New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. You go through the finale of Splash Mountain along the rivers of America, and to top it all off, you get to see the Grand Canyon and Primeval World dioramas. The railroad was rerouted, now riding on the rivers of America in 2017, following the construction of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Number 9. Here, we visit the backside of water on the world-famous Jungle Cruise. Another opening day attraction at Disneyland, you venture on different rivers of the jungle and go for Niles and Niles and Niles. Get the pun? You see elephants, tigers, lions, zebras, hippos, and explorers climbing up a tree. And as of last year, they now have chimpanzees wreaking havoc, replacing the old controversial tribal ceremonial dance and ambush scenes. They also took Trader Sam out of the finale, and now have monkeys and an elephant making a mess at his store in his absence. At 8th place, we have the mighty Matterhorn Bobsleds. Opening in 1959, it is the world's first steel coaster, designed by Disney legend Bob Gurr. It is a bumpy ride, but super fun. The big highlight of the ride is encountering Harold the Yeti. I currently don't have videos from this ride, but I have some photos. Lucky number 7! This here is the wildest ride in the wilderness, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. A mine train coaster that happens to be the fastest ride at Disneyland Park. You travel in a cave past geysers and stalactites, encounter animals, including a goat with a dynamite in his mouth, and an explosive finale where you ride past exploding dynamite. Space travels. At number 6, we have the classic Space Mountain, a beloved coaster in the dark completely through outer space. You start in Space Station 77, go up a spiral lift hill before you wind down gentle helixes and go down gentle slopes, making your way back to the station. It first opened in 1977 and had a complete overhaul, replacing its track in 2005. I don't have videos of Space Mountain, but I do have some photos. Welcome to the Laughing Place! At number 5, we have the soon-to-be re-themed Splash Mountain. There's nothing more soaking at Disneyland than going down that 49-foot Chickapin Hill. Prior to that, you go down slip and falls into some vibrant animatronic-filled dark ride scenes. While the current theme is Song of the South, most of the animatronics were reused from an extinct Disneyland attraction, America Sings. Because the Song of the South is a controversial film, and many more Disney films have been added to the library in the last 30+ years, this ride will be closing very soon at an unknown date to receive a Princess and the Frog re-theme. Welcome, foolish mortals, to number 4, the Haunted Mansion, as well as the Haunted Mansion Holiday. I have more videos from the Haunted Mansion Holiday than I do of the regular mansion, but they're basically the same attraction. Opening in 1969, this ride was way ahead of its time, using projection mapping, the Pepper's Ghost effect, and many illusions that Disney would introduce to other rides. You first start in a stretching gallery that is an elevator segment of the attraction, taking you down below the railroad tracks to the main dark ride segment. Then you ride past rooms that include an endless hallway, self-knocking doors, Madame Leota, a ghostly birthday party, an evil ghostly bride, the Hatbox Ghost, and a graveyard jamboree. But beware of hitchhiking ghosts. In 2001, the ride started to receive a 3 to 4 month annual holiday overlay themed to The Nightmare Before Christmas. On this version, you encounter Jack, Sally, and Oogie Boogie, but you still can see some of your favorite characters including Madame Leota, the Hatbox Ghost, and the ghosts in the ballroom as well as most of the graveyard ghosts. Who makes it 3? We have the classic Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Yes, the original water dark ride that inspired the film series, except that the ride opened over 35 years before the first Pirates film was released. So putting it this way, there would have been no Captain Jack without this ride. But he was added to the ride in 2006. You start in a beautiful blue bayou in New Orleans. Then, you go down 2 gentle drops and travel back in time to the age of piracy. First, you enter a grotto and ride past skeleton pirates, including one steering a ghastly ship, a stabbed skeleton pirate on top of a pile of treasure, one looking through a magnifying glass in bed, and another in a booby trap, transforming to a flesh and bone pirate. Afterward, you go ride by the main pirate scenes, including Captain Barbossa firing cannons from his galleon, the dunking of the town mayor, an auction scene, a pooped pirate singing Yo-Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me while burning the city, and the famous prison scene where pirate prisoners try to get the key from a dog to let them out. You also see Captain Jack Sparrow twice. Just before the final lift, you escape drunk pirates blasting cannons at you, and see Captain Jack once again with his newfound treasure. Number 2. Beware the Eyes of Mara. We've got the Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. This incredible motion-based dark ride is themed to the Indiana Jones films. It also has an incredibly themed queue where you avoid booby traps, walk through a rotunda and a projector room with Sal's introductory video. On the ride, you encounter a statue of Mara that you must not look at, giant snakes, a giant lava pit, a dart room, and you escape a giant boulder. You see Indy himself on this ride 3 times. Last but not least, may the Force be with you. At our number 1 spot, we've got the breathtaking Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance. Where can I begin with this attraction? It's 4 or 5 attractions in one. The attraction starts at the beginning of the queue, in a Resistance base camp, where you're briefed by Rey and BB-8. Then you hop aboard a ship, and travel to Leia's secret base only to get abducted by a First Order Star Destroyer. Then, you walk through a hangar bay with 50 stormtroopers intimidating you. You're now trapped in Kylo Ren's holding cell. Finn then breaks you out and you board your dark ride vehicle, which is a droid that Finn hacks into. You ride through the Star Destroyer to the escape pods, encountering shooting AT-AT walkers, Kylo Ren and Hux in the pilot room, a gun shooting at Resistance ships, and Kylo Ren being blown out of his own ship. Then, you enter an escape pod, and while in your escape pod, you drop 10 to 15 feet and ride your way back down to the Resistance base camp. You then exit the escape pod and exit the ride into the base camp soon after. Thank you for watching our top 10 rides to do at Disneyland video. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel at Maxic Kingdom here on YouTube. Bye!